Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm showing you 3 rares that can compete with epics. And no, I'm not talking about Kyle. We already know that he's the best starter champion out there. But what if you haven't picked him? Or what if you just want some stronger champions for your team? Today I'm gonna be breaking down Athel, Warmaiden and Diabolist. I'm gonna show you why are they good, also what are the best builds for them, and where they shine in the game. These champions are game changers for beginners. And do you know what is the best part? They are easy to get. That's right. So let's dive in. Alright guys, let's start with one of my favorite champions out there so far. Namely, that's Athel, the good old Athel. So as you might already know, Athel is one of the 4 starting champions out there. But since most people are deciding to pick Kyle, she's a good champion to feature on your list, and she is quite common from shards. I managed to get her opening a nation shard. Yeah, I know I should wait for the 2x events, but I didn't have any other good champions besides Karato, Alice and Kyle, and I was so desperate to get somebody else on my team, and I just opened an ancient shard, but it was only one, and I was lucky. I got Athel on my team, and right now I'm gonna save everything rest for the next 2x event. So save your shards. Those champions will definitely help you dominate the early game, but imagine getting a free legendary and 4 solid epics just for leveling up. Yep, that's possible. Use my exclusive link in the description and you will start your game with Karato Fox Hunter plus Ugo, Raptor Dread, Tagore and Mausoleum Mage as you level up. Just don't forget to register a new account on PC with a fresh email and finish the tutorial. If you're serious about progressing fast, don't miss this opportunity. What I wanted to discuss about Athel is that she's one of the best rare champions out there due to her AoE attack and self-buffing abilities. She's very useful debuffer, and also she has very diverse skill set. Not a lot of champions out there have diverse skill set combined with high damage output, but our Athel has it. So if you have her on the team, you're lucky. She's also very useful in all modes of the game and in team composition with speed setups. Let's check out her skills right now. And let me tell you something, guys. I'm gonna be completely honest when discussing all of the 3 rare champions that I have picked. I'm gonna tell you some pros and some cons, so you would be able to decide yourself if you want this champion or not. I'm here to tell the truth, you know. Let's check out her skills. On A1 we have Strike Down, attacks 1 enemy 3 times, each hit has a 75% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. Actually, this skill is very useful to wear down an enemy early. That way your stronger champions could be more effective with the subsequent attacks, and overall this skill is pretty useful. On A2 we have Divine Blades. Her AoE attack attacks all enemies, has an extra 50% chance of inflicting a critical hit. This is additional boosts that a few rare champions out there have, and I really suggest using artifacts with critical rate and critical damage to take advantage of that A2 ability. And finally, not finally, but her A3 is Higher Blessing, which places a 25% increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns, places a 30% increased death buff on this champion for 2 turns. If this champion's current HP is less than 50%, gains an extra turn, which means you have 2 abilities in one go. High Blessing also increases defense when Athel has low HP during battles, which is really great. And now, finally, her passive skill increases ally HP in all battles by 15%. Overall, I think Athel is a pretty decent choice. As you can see, she is one of my strongest champions out there, and I really do recommend her. She's great adding to your team, but as every other champion out there, she also has some disadvantages, and the disadvantages for Athel are that she has no crowd control abilities, which make her a weaker pick for arena battles. Also, no real defensive skills, so you need to have strong support champions teamed up with her. But other than that, she is great rare champions. She has weaken debuff, which is great for bosses. I recommend her. I really do recommend Athel. The next champion on our list today, that is Warmaiden. Beautiful lady right here. What I have to tell you about Warmaiden is that she's one of the most common rare champions out there, which makes her a great option for beginners like me. Also, the cool thing about Warmaiden is that she can be easily acquired through farming. If you farm on chapter 9, stage 3 or 6, you can easily get Warmaiden. She's a free, easily to obtain champion, and she is very easy to upgrade due to that reason, because you can get duplicates of Warmaiden, and when you come here and you try to upgrade her skills, you can easily do that if you have duplicates of Warmaiden, so that you won't need to waste your tomes, rare epics just to upgrade her. She's easily to get and easily to upgrade. The pros of Warmaiden are also that she's one of the best rares out there due to her AoE decrease defense, and she's even better than the average epic champion. Also, she pairs well with starter champions due to her AoE skill, which can be used to maximize damage. Let's quickly go over her skills. On A1, we have the ferocious attack. Attacks one enemy has a 30% chance of placing a 2.5% poison debuff for 1 turn. What I have to mention here is that this skill is not that useful unless you have some accuracy on her build. That's why it's really important for you to have artifacts with accuracy as their main stat. In my case, right now, I don't have them, but I definitely need to have some changes done here, as you can see. But yeah, to take the most out of her A1, you really need to have some artifacts with accuracy as their main stat. Accuracy is necessary for the poison debuff to land effectively on the enemy. Next, on A2, we have Opportunity Strike. Attacks one enemy, places a 50, that's a lot, increase attack buff on this champion and places an extra hit if this attack is critical. The extra hit cannot be critical. And finally, we have Crumbling Blast, her AoE attack that has 75% chance of placing a 30% decreased depth debuff for 2 turns. And if you manage to get that skill ascended from 30, you are getting to 60% chance of decreased depth debuff for 2 turns, which is great. And it's a lot. Most times you will place that decreased defense buff. And like I told you guys, I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm gonna share with you the pros and also the cons of having those specific champions on your team. The cons of having Warmaiden on your team are that she can be an easy target without HP and defense gear. So make sure you also have some artifacts with HP and defense. And the other disadvantage of Warmaiden is that she has limited utility outside of her AoE ability, but basically she's one of the easiest to get champions out there, and I really do recommend her with 2 hands, because if you have some HP, defense and accuracy on her build, she can be very strong as well. And finally, we have Diabolist, one of the coolest looking champions out there, if you ask me. I haven't explored many of the champions, but I really like her vibe. I think she's pretty cool. But yeah, this is another easy to obtain champion, and also I think she is a great option for beginners and a great option in the early game. You might ask yourselves from where you can obtain Diabolist. I'm gonna answer your question immediately. You go through campaign and you go through Chapter 12 Brimstone Pad. If you farm enough here, you can easily get duplicates of Diabolist as well. As you can see right now, I also have some duplicates and I can easily upgrade her skills with the duplicates. Do you know what? Let's upgrade some of her skills right now with a duplicate. I don't have silver again. Sacrifice. because we have one more. Otherwise, I won't be sacrificing my champions that easily. See, and we managed to upgrade her skill. That way, again, you won't need to waste your tomes for that champion because she's very easy to get. Another thing I can say about Diabolist is she's also pretty common champion to obtain from shards, not only from farming but from shards as well, and she is one of the best speed champions out there. And what I recommend is that you definitely max out her skills in her gear, especially if there is no other champion that provides speed and turn meter boost on your team. Diabolist is a great choice. Definitely max her out if she is the only champion with speed boosts and turn meter boost on your team. Let's check out her skills right now. On A1 we have Torment, attacks one enemy, has a 10% chance of placing a sleep debuff for 1 turn. This also slows enemies down if she succeeds in placing that debuff. On A2 we have Electric Storm, attacks all enemies, places a 30% increase speed buff on all allies for 2 turns, which is exactly why you have to give her some speed artifacts. To get the most out of this skill, she definitely needs some speed. And finally, on A3 we have Positive Charge, fills the turn meter of all allies by 15%, decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 15%. Once again, I really need to emphasize on how important it is to have speed for this particular champion. Otherwise, her skills are not that useful. That is really important so she can reuse her abilities as often as possible, giving her allies an endless boost. And finally, what are the disadvantages of Diabolist? She also has some. The greatest disadvantage of using Diabolist is that she doesn't have tremendous damage. Even if you manage to fully upgrade her skills, her damage does not increase significantly. Also, Diabolist can be quite useless if you don't have speed artifacts, so really make sure you have some speed as main stats for her gear. And those were the champions that I had prepared for today, but I want to give you a bonus champion. I haven't explored everything with Marquez, yes. But from what I know, she is another good rare champion. I haven't played much with her, but she is really good because of her A2 that has a 35% chance of placing a 50% weaken debuff for 2 turns. And what I have to say here is that since weaken increases all damage types, it's extremely valuable for clan bosses, and champions like her that places weaken debuff are paired well with champions that have a skill of decreased defense to maximize damage output. In my case, she would pair pretty well with Warmaiden, namely because she has that decreased defense debuff. Together with a weaken debuff, they are pretty useful, mainly for clan bosses, but also for dungeons like Spider's Den, Fire Knight Castle, and Ice Golem Peak. She is also pretty useful for bosses with high HP to speed up runs, and Fire Knight's shield requires multiple hits to break, so multi-hit weakened champions like Marquez helps a lot in that. That was all, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and drop in the comments what is your favorite rare champion out there and why. I would be so happy to know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If so, smash that like button and hit subscribe for more Raid Shadow Legends content. Thank you so much for watching again, and see you in the next video. Bye!